This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
You are not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. You probably will believe it at this point because all of it's so unbelievable that we now believe it. Well, last week, we obviously brought you a pretty explosive episode wherein we discussed Liberty University. Because when did Charlie's organization make a sudden switch? Suddenly, everybody's discussing faith.
I think it's interesting. Notice her face. She's using her face to kind of steer this conversation. That something is wrong with Turning Point being involved in faith at all, having any kind of engagement in the faith argument or in the Christian sphere. How dare, like look at her face, like it's like somebody just passed gas. Like that is very interesting. W Audio, come on for the win. Y'all put DD2 in the chat. I told her. I just think it's funny that she makes such hay about this, but I thought she was a woman of faith. I thought she claimed to be a Christian. Why is it that as a Christian, you don't see any value in Christian ideas, Christian principles, Christian values being in government or in the secular space? Why do you not see value in that? That's going to have to be a question that Candace answers. But let's go.
As opposed to his initial goals focused on the free market and capitalism, when did Charlie's organization turn into a church? Well, the answer, as we went backward, is that it began with him creating the Falkirk Center. And now I am going to reveal to you what exactly happened with the Falkirk Center. Obviously, scandal.
Okay. I'm trying not, I'm going to probably stop a whole lot. So if you're upset about that, it's going to be okay. You'll be all right. I hope did I say this? I didn't tell Cantifa, please make sure you make your way up to the front of the church because I need all of my Cantifa people. Isn't it odd that Turning Point Faith, and somebody can check me in the chat, Turning Point Faith kind of jettisoned out, kind of got popular about 8 years ago is when they established it. Isn't it odd that Candace seems 100% oblivious to Turning Point Faith, but Charlie Kirk was her best friend? Does that not stand out to anybody? Does that not make you say, wait, hold on. How did you, this was a big deal in the arm or in the organization of Turning Point, but you don't seem to know anything about it. But you were his best friend. Y'all talked all the time. Y'all talked about Gaza and everything. Every one of your pet projects, y'all talked about it. Interesting. Just seems odd. Let's go.
Which I now believe could have led to the fall of both men, actually, Jerry Falwell Jr. and Charlie Kirk. Plus, later on in the show, Megyn Kelly is saying no to the Israel lobby bullying. She gave a powerful statement to Tucker Carlson, who has just been declared an enemy of the state of Israel alongside little old me. I'm not kidding. Welcome back to Candace. Where should we begin, you guys? Let's just say.
And I've said this before, and I really want to make sure this is super clear about this podcast. This podcast does not have Israel derangement syndrome, nor do we have Israel worship syndrome. I don't think that every sentence needs to end or punctuate with Israel, Jews, or anything of that nature. There's just entirely too much right here in my own little fiefdom that we need to talk about. And so please understand, if I'm dismissive about this Israel argumentation, please understand it's coming from a place of I'm worried about my own yard. I've told the joke. I have a bald spot in my front yard right here. I got to figure that out. And I can guarantee you right now, Bibi Netanyahu nor Hamas are going to come and deal with that bald spot in my front yard. It's not going to happen. And when I get that letter from the HOA, guess what they're not going to say? Please forward this to Bibi. Please forward this to Mossad. Please forward this to whomever. No, they're going to be like, Jason, what's up with this bald patch in your yard? Get it taken care of. There's just too many things that we need to deal with here. And I'm using my bald patch in my yard as just an example, but there's a lot of stuff here in the United States we need to worry about. Why is Candace so infatuated and obsessed with Israel? You do realize that you could just ignore them. And you can't tell me that this little sliver of land the size of New Jersey controls the whole world. That's just stupid. That's just dumb. So let me go ahead and listen to this woman talk. But please understand, that's the place that I'm coming from. So when I say stuff, that she sounds ridiculous and she sounds dumb, that's where I'm coming from, because there's stuff that she needs to deal with in Nashville. All this energy that she puts 9 time zones away. Why are you not worried about what's going on in Nashville? Why are you not worried about what's going on inside the Catholic Church? You're going to start talking about people peddling and trafficking folk. Shh, don't say that.
That there have been a lot of misguided PR operations since Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I think that is putting it mildly, right? A lot of PR blunders, so to speak. Let's see, there was a Operation He Wasn't Catholic Curious, followed by Operation...
Now he's Catholic Curious. Okay.
Candace hasn't spoken to Charlie in years, followed by Operation LOL Egyptian planes.
Isn't it funny? This woman she will be studied by science. She will be studied by science. You do realize, Candace, that you're the one that's done this stuff. She's joking about the Egyptian planes, but she never actually talks about it. She still hasn't put that information up on her website. Somebody told me today that I was lying and I wasn't a Christian because I was lying on Candace. I said, well, Candace lies all the time. Well, tell me where she's lied all the time. I said, Egyptian plane raw data. Well, she, where's the data? She done said 4 times that she's going to put it on her website. Where is it? I'll wait. That's my point. So it's funny that she says this stuff with a straight face. That's gonna, y'all have to give her a little bit of credit. Like, she's literally lying with a straight face. That is kind of impressive.
By Operation Debunk Mitch in Fort Huachuca with baby mama drama. Huachuca.
What about the French assassins? How about that? We got to, don't forget that one. in Fort Huachuca, ma'am. What happened to it? Notice she's saying it in the past tense, like it's already been an established fact. See, there you go. 4 quarters make $1. Like, she's kind of saying that, 10 dimes make $1. Like, it doesn't matter. It's already established fact.
A mama drama, that was a lot. And I guess what I really mean when I use the word misguided is that whoever is in control of these operations has a bit of a lead foot. You know what I mean? Too much gas on the pedal at all times. The immediate force that's being applied to these psychological operations, they go from 0 to 100, has sort of made the panic behind them pretty obvious to us, the public. It feels like there is someone who has a lot of money to spend, but maybe that person who is in control of spending the money happens to be an idiot. Like, he's just phoning people up, like, I'll give you $600,000 and have that money transferred in your account with Bitcoin today. If you just say these words, Candace has gone crazy. Charlie wasn't Catholic. Mitch, his baby mama, he's a crazy man. Crazy. Everybody's crazy. The expression used in the UK that my husband uses is rich and thick. That's used to describe a dumbass who has a lot of cash on hand. Okay.
I'm going to point out something real quick. And if you, I've talked about this before. There's a lot of people that are talking about Candace going down in the ratings. She was #1 alleged podcast in the world, and she's gone down to like 57. Then she bubbled back up to 28. I don't think that's the biggest problem. I'm gonna show you what I think the biggest problem Candace is having right now, and bring it in. All right, I'm gonna leave this up on the screen for a second. You're like, dude, what in the world? Jay, what is this? What is this that you're showing me? You can put a question mark in the chat if you don't know. I know you probably don't know. These are the numbers of super chats that Candace got the week before Christmas. I'm not going to talk about the value, the amount, because the amount is astronomical. But I just want you to see, this is the week before Christmas, the last show that she did. Notice how many super chats she got. Somewhere in the ballpark of about 2,000 super chats. And notice coming back in from the break last week, notice how many super chats she got. Now, that doesn't mean that the bread isn't coming in. That don't mean that she ain't still got bread in her pocket. Candace is doing quite well. I'm not trying to say that she's going broke. What I am saying, however, is the support level has gone down significantly. 2,000 super chats to barely 400. That's a big cut. That's a gigantic cut. And so I think what we're seeing and we're hearing, we're going to go back to the video in a second. I think what we're hearing is her clamoring for support. Like her base is dwindling. Her base is leaving her. People are exhausted with this story because she hasn't tied any of the loose ends together. Mitch was supposed to be the one that makes the FBI come crashing down on their knees begging for forgiveness. What happened? Fort Huachuca, everybody was supposed to be able to know how to spell it. Nobody even knows anymore. Again, the Egyptian planes, that was supposed to make us all like, oh my gosh, yes. Where did it go? The French assassins, we were all supposed to be worried about her. What happened? That's my point. So no, it's not about money. I do believe she's still making bread. Let me just tell you that. She's making money hand over fist. I don't even know what that means, but she's making money hand over fist. What she's not doing, however, is the base is leaving her. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a reckoning coming very soon as it relates to. I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.